Welcome, everybody, to the soul of the unexplained. And with me, I'm happy to say, is my awesome and super sexy co host, Mr. Roger Stokes. Say, hey, Roger.
Hey, Roger. Hey, I am Roger Stokes, and I am Jim's super sexy co-host. If you think that I'm sexy and you know it, just give me a shout out here and for that, and I'll sign autographs at PhenomeCon. Okay, just kidding. I probably won't sign any autographs. I'm not that famous, not that sexy, but let's get into this, Jim.
Right on. This is what? This is like our 13th or 14th episode. Gosh,
Yeah.
I'm excited. So, what we're doing today, folks, is we're going to give a primer of sorts for the wonderful event that we call PhenomeCon 2023, which, of course, is a fantastic paranormal conference that goes on in scenic Vernal, Utah every September. And this is the third year that they are doing PhenomeCon. And Roger and I are veterans of all 3 years. The third year hasn't happened yet, but we've been there the first 2 years, and it was just absolutely. This is what my calendar year revolves around. I don't know about you, Roger, but PhenomeCon is just. It's one of those things. I think I've mentioned it before. It almost feels, because of all the great friends and connections that we've made there, PhenomeCon almost feels like going to a family reunion, right?
It does.
like
It's a
like
lot of fun. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely one of the highlights of my year and looking forward to it. And it is. If you haven't experienced it, it's an amazing thing, right? You've got like-minded people. And I know that when you think about, man, this is a paranormal conference, what stigma comes with there? Are you going to get, people that are just I don't know, kind of what you think's crazy or whatnot. But I want to say that the last 2 years have been wonderful, and the vast majority of people are just everyday people like you and I, Jim, and all walks of life, different different levels of understanding of paranormal, but we all have one thing in common, is that we've experienced things that we can't explain. And this is what this conference does, is bring like-minded people together and really reduce the stigma there. And so that's why I'm super excited for the third year of PhenomeCon, because you meet so many wonderful people and you just make memories that will honestly last for a lifetime.
and friends as well. I mean, we
Yeah.
we have met so many cool people the last 2 years at Phenomicon, and I just want to give a shout out to some of them. Of course, first and foremost, we got to show some love to Mr. Jeff Freeman of the J Free 906 podcast. We love Jeff. Got to meet him last year, and we've become such good friends with him. And also, don't let's not forget Roger. There's Mark and Brenda. I think they're from Kansas, if I'm not mistaken, and they always drive out in Phenomicon on the back of a Harley, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah, they're motorcycles. Yeah.
motorcycle. So what a great way to tour the USA, right? And of course, Miriam, one of the insiders that we met last year, she's going to be there. And
Sure,
I got
her.
to, yeah, got to give a shout out to Caleb, Mr. Caleb Bench,
Oh yeah,
our
100%.
our good friend Caleb, one of the security guys at Skinwalker Ranch, and uh, of course Bridget and Quinn and Alicia and all the folks that are the organizers and the people that do all the really hard work behind the scenes to make Phenomicon happen. Just so excited to see all of them again. And Cheryl Carter, right? And Cheryl's got a brand new book that just came out called Chosen. I highly recommend it, folks. It's really good. So we're super excited to see Cheryl Carter at Phenomicon again. So, like I said, it's like going to see old friends in a lot of ways, and really looking forward to that. So let's to get started, Raj. Why don't we just kind of do a kind of like a day by day rundown of what the schedule is going to be. And first of all, folks, for those of you that are um, either in Utah or in one of the surrounding states, or if you still, regardless of where you are contemplating making the trip out to Vernal for Phenomicon, you can buy. I believe the 4 day pass is something you can still buy. Plus, they also have single day passes as well. So if you have a day job and for some reason can't come to Wednesday through Saturday, then by all means come on Friday or just come on Saturday. And certainly, if you come to the conference, find Roger and I, say hello. We'd certainly love to see any of our listeners and any of our fans, any of our friends that are out there. I'll be pretty easy to find. I'm going to be the big guy with the usually the black Stetson or the white fedora. Just look for me. I'm kind of hard to miss. I'll be one of the ugliest guys in attendance. That much I can guarantee you. But let's take a rundown, Raj. Why don't we? For the first day we've got is Wednesday, September 6th. Is that correct?
That is correct. And before we jump into that, I just want to say that if you are looking to come out, the 4-day conference pass is really a good deal. It's $120. Gets you in all 4 days. Then they have the Thursday only admission, Friday only admission, and Saturday only admission. And so if you come just even one day, that's $50. 2 days, that would be $100. So if at all possible, you can make the 4-day pass. It will save you some money, but in any case, those are the prices, and it is a lot of fun. So let's jump in and take a look at what is going on for Wednesday. So,
Now, also let me stop you this time.
oh no, no.
So, oh yes, it's going to happen. I'm stop. So,
Okay.
we have for those of you that are members of the Skinwalker Ranch Insider Group, Roger and I are going to be hosting an event, a little informal get together, meetup, if you will, of Skinwalker Ranch insiders, and that's going to be taking place on Tuesday night, September 5th. And for details on that, just simply log into the Skinwalker Ranch Insider Discord channel and specifically look for the PhenomeCon planning thread, and you'll find all the relevant details there. But great opportunity if you're coming into PhenomeCon a day or two early, then we're going to have a little informal get together at a local brew pub that's there in Vernal, and just a chance for the Skinwalker Ranch insiders to get together and say, hey, and so that should be a lot of fun. So there is something going on Tuesday for those of you that are going to be there. So with that, Raj, I'll turn it over to you to get started for Wednesday, September 6th.
Yeah, Wednesday, September 6th. So if you've never been, the tagline for PhenomeCon is "We Believe," and it's such a treat to have everybody come. And so, number one, we're going to walk through a little bit of the website and lay out the different activities. One thing that's great about PhenomeCon is there's so many people in their respective fields that have been invited to come and be guest speakers, put on, talk to us about what they're passionate about in their fields. And you've got a wide range of individuals from, like Skinwalker Ranch. You've also got Expedition Bigfoot and the team from there. You've got paranormal researchers. You've got cryptid researchers. You've got ghost hunters. There's a lot of variety and topics there. So to kick it off, Wednesday, September 6th, from noon to 5, that's the check-in and registration. So, Jim and I, we are actually going to be there Tuesday night, hosting our insider Skinwalker Ranch insider party. But we're there the night before, so we can get there and get checked in. And really, that noon to 5, they're checking in, really, talking to people and, really asking people about what they want to get out of the conference. So it's really fun to start networking there. And the one thing that I really love about PhenomeCon right from the start is not only do they have great food trucks there for lunch and things like that, and we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Tacos.
Yes, tacos. But they have great vendors. So you have vendors that have all sorts of things that you can buy. Books, just fascinating. Even some of the cast members, the people on Expedition Bigfoot. I know last year Russ Acord was there, Dr. Maria Mayer. We were able to buy books and get some autographs and things like that. So all these vendors have some amazing things, and every year there's just new vendors with new things, and it's really exciting. So definitely, if you have some extra cash, keep that on you. you will not go wrong because there will be something I guarantee you want to buy. And the vendors, they open up at 12 noon there. And so to kick this off, right, we have from the 1 o'clock p.m. to the 2:30 p.m. Time slot there. We've got some main stage speakers, and then also because they have the big auditorium where they do have the main stage, and most of the more high profile people there are speaking, but they also have breakout speakers in different conference rooms there. So first one there that we'll mention is Blind Frog Ranch, and they have a panel with Dwayne Ollinger, David Wilkerson, and Charlie Snyder, who I think is called Charlie Boy on the show.
Yep.
But there's also some great breakout speakers during that session too that I really want to give a call out to. So you've got Jessica Blunt, you've got Cypress Paranormal Research, and Cypress Paranormal Research is a local, I believe, paranormal group that actually do ghost hunting with April Slaughter. And we'll talk about that a little bit because that is an add-on activity that you can have. But if you are interested in ghosts and spirits and disembodied voices, EVPs, all that kind of stuff, that would be a great breakout speaker. And then in addition to that, Jeremy McGowan, who has definitely, I believe he was on Jimmy, correct me if I'm wrong, but he was on the Princeton, or was it the?
Yeah, I believe he was on the Princeton. He was, if I'm not mistaken, he was associated some way with the Tic Tac incident with the USS Nimitz
Yes.
carrier group. And I'm not sure if he still is, but I know that he was one of the members of UAPX with Gary Voorhees. And of course, Gary Voorhees came last year. We got to meet Gary. Gary was a super cool guy. But Jeremy McGowan is going to be coming this year. And as you mentioned, Roger, they're giving him a breakout session. So if you're into UFOs and whatnot, he should be an interesting speaker for you to check out.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I don't think he's still with UAPX, but a lot of the things that he does and got set up with the Osiris system, I still believe that he is continuing his work there to really look and monitor and identify UAPs. So a lot of experience there. Super excited to have him. Just checking. So Jessica Blunt on the website, she's a researcher. So if you're looking into just kind of how to, I believe, just research paranormal, things like that, it would be a great way to get introduced into the field and asking questions. So really, a really great way to kick off this conference, in my opinion. You've got a wide variety of individuals talking about a wide variety of different things. So that kicks us off. And, you know, because there's a lot of people and everything, there are breaks throughout the day. So you don't have to worry about missing something. You'll get breaks, you'll get lunches each and every day. But that brings us into kind of our later afternoon, the 2:45 to 4:15 time slot. And again, we have 3 breakout speakers, which is going to be great. So the first one is April Slaughter. April has been to all 3, well, all 2, plus this one coming up, PhenomeCon. She is one of the, she's a very popular paranormal researcher. She's written multiple books. She does help the Cypress Paranormal on their ghost hunt. That is an add-on activity if you're interested in doing that. So really, think it was, can't remember if it was last year or the year before, but we did get to listen to some of her, like she did do speaking in the main hall there. She has some really interesting experiences that are definitely paranormal in nature. And I feel like she's a really good expert on the topic. She's dedicated her life to doing a lot of those things. So if that's something of interest to you, I know I love paranormal items. I love ghost stories. I love things like that. She would be good if you wanted to ask questions related to the paranormal. She'd have some good information. Next one, Ryan Skinner. So for those of you that don't know Ryan Skinner, he has worked with Skinwalker Ranch before. He's written some books, co-authored these books. He understands the area a lot. And so if you're interested in cryptids, Skinwalker Ranch, and those type of things, definitely check out Ryan Skinner. I'm also going to say here, my favorite one of this one would be the breakout speaker, Melissa Winterton. So
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
really looking forward to that.
so Melissa is new this year. And for those that don't know, Melissa is the wife of Thomas Winterton of Skinwalker Ranch there. And she is, I guess, a meditation specialist and expert, and really excited to learn more about what she does. And there is an add-on activity. I'm not for sure if it's available still, but there are some early morning meditation exercises. And I really feel that this is something where if you do believe in spirituality or a different power or however you perceive that, right? Melissa will be great in tapping into that and understanding. And really, I'm hoping to get some, further insights on the things that are happening there. And I think it'll be a unique experience for everyone involved. Your thoughts, Jim?
I completely agree. I'm excited because we actually got to briefly meet Melissa last year during the Skinwalker Ranch Insider VIP event that they held, and I got to talk to her for a little while because she's really into music, and she does this thing called it's like a resonance therapy that involves music and frequencies and meditation. And I have really been struggling with sleeping lately. Actually, I say lately, but I haven't. I don't sleep at all when it comes right down to it. In case you can't tell with my eyes, but no, I'm really looking forward to this activity. It's an add-on activity, and we'll get to it when we talk about Friday's events. But on Friday, Melissa Winterton is also hosting what they call a sunrise meditation, and I believe it's only $25 to sign up for. And I have been wanting to learn the art of meditation, transcendental or otherwise. I just want to figure out what I can do to help get my mind and my body in sync, because right now, quite obviously, I'm not in sync. And so I'm really looking forward to what Melissa has to offer in her breakout session. Hopefully, she's going to talk a little bit about her experiences doing the meditation and with her resonance frequency stuff that she does as well. So really, really excited about that one.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just looking here and trying to pull up. So yes, on Friday it's the sunrise meditation from 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Mountain Standard. It's only $25 and there's 68 slots remaining. So definitely highly recommended by myself and Jim. We are both already scheduled for that and looking forward to it.
Yep, most certainly. And
Awesome.
then and then I'll let you, if you want to continue on with, there's some add-on activities that after the 4:15 when the afternoon breakout sessions get out at about 4:15, there's going to be some what they call add-on activities. Now, just to explain the difference between um, the quote unquote regular activities that are included in whatever uh, pass or package that you get to attend PhenomeCon, and then there are add-on activities, which are extra activities that you do have to pay extra to participate in. And coming up, starting at 4:30 on Wednesday, there will be a whole host of add-on activities, and I know that some of these are probably very likely already sold out. So, do you want to just briefly talk about what some of those add-on activities are that are coming up for Wednesday evening?
Yeah, so between the 4:30 and 6:30 time slot, there are two very popular add-on activities. And the first one is an escorted trip to Skinwalker Ranch Perimeter. That is typically sold out once the conference opens up its bookings. And of course, I would imagine that, you know, with the popularity of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, um, it's really, it's a great opportunity, right? you can't get on the ranch for safety reasons that we won't go into here, but it's really great because either Thomas or Dragon, Bryant,
Mhm.
with the bus that takes you there. They talk about the history of the Skinwalker Ranch, kind of talk to people on the bus as they're going. And you actually go right up to that main gate where they have the security shack, and it's along that street. Like if you're turning down, you get the warning signs that says don't come any further, private property, things like that. So it really is, if you have never, like if you're a fan of the show, live out of state, um, this is if you, and again, I'm going to say that sometimes I know last year, the year before, they might open up some extra ones if somebody doesn't show up or drop out. So there's still a possibility of doing that. But it is a great way of actually getting as close to Skinwalker Ranch as you can without actually breaking the law and having, you know, somebody yelling at you or, pressing charges because you're trespassing on the property. So we don't want that. We want everyone to be
Right.
safe.
Yeah.
Skinwalker Ranch is definitely a place where there's a lot of science experiments going on. So again, the escorted trip to Skinwalker Ranch perimeter, definitely a must-have. If you've never actually been out to Utah, you can see the location. It's beautiful out there. Highly recommended. And then the second one, oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that I believe that particular um, escorted trip out to the perimeter of Skinwalker Ranch, like you said, is one of the first ones to sell out, and I'm fairly certain it is still sold out all the days that they're offering it, because that is like one of the most in demand things to do. So very, very popular event.
Yes, let's see. I'm just looking here really quick for the Wednesday add-on activities.
Well,
And
there's a hike to McConkey Ranch as well, at the same time, uh, going on at the same time that the Skinwalker Ranch trip is happening. And one thing that Roger and I were able to do last year is we took that hike to McConkey Ranch, and it was actually a tour that was given by none other than James Keenan. And I'm here to tell you, folks, if there's a guy that you want to take to be your tour guide to go see McConkey Ranch, James Keenan is your man. And I believe there might still be some space open for the McConkey Ranch trips that are out there, but the petroglyphs at McConkey Ranch are truly breathtaking. They are really something to see. And I absolutely recommend that as one of the must do activities if you have the means and the availability to take that trip out to McConkey Ranch. Snatch that up and take that, because you will not regret it. It will become one of your favorite memories of PhenomeCon, I guarantee you, because it's located in this absolutely gorgeous canyon just outside of Vernal. And the petroglyphs are just really, really something to see. So highly recommend that one.
yeah, absolutely. And just looking at the Wednesday schedule, so there are not any openings for the Skinwalker Ranch perimeter tour, but there are a couple remaining for the hike to McConkey Ranch petroglyphs. And one caveat there I want to say, and um, if at all possible, you can do the petroglyphs. As Jim stated, it is so beautiful, and you just get to see these works of art that are so old and part of, you know, Native American history here in Utah. And it's not something that you see every day. And however, it's a little bit of a hike, and so I would recommend that if you are wanting to do this, um, you don't have to be like in great physical shape. You're biking every day, but you should be able to walk up steps and things like that pretty easily because the trail winds up. You do have to go up the side of a mountain a little bit. It's not a steep incline, but it does push your endurance a little bit. I know that when I went there, I was one of the slower people because just with different things that I've had in the past, it took me longer than the rest of the group. So I just want to throw that out there in case if you're thinking about it. Make sure you bring water. Make sure you have snacks, things like that, just to make sure when you get there that you're plenty hydrated and you can enjoy the hike up there. It is absolutely beautiful, and it's one of the most amazing things, and I guarantee you won't forget it. So definitely
Yeah.
advocate.
Yeah, it's a bit of a hike, folks. It's not what I would call an easy hike. It's more of the upper limit of what we would call a moderate hike, because like Roger said, you have to walk from where the parking area is to actually get to the base of the mountain. It's probably a good, 500 yard walk at least, just to get to the base of the mountain, and then you have to take these little switchback trails that take you up to the top, to where the petroglyphs are, and it takes a little bit of doing to do that. And if you're in average shape, you should be fine. If you're in athletic shape, you'll have no problem. But if you're somebody who mainly surfs on the couch all day, doesn't do an awful lot of physical activity, then you might regret the fact that you're not in proper shape to take this hike, because you
True.
you want to make sure that you're going to be in good shape to do this, because you don't want to miss out. It really is extraordinary to see what they've got there. So for sure.
Yeah, and the good thing is there that the not only the staff from PhenomeCon are there, but they also have staff from McConkey Ranch themselves. So they have somebody at the, James Keenan will lead the tour. They've got people that will also, who's ever the slowest person there, you'll have people right there and people checking in on you. And so, definitely you don't have to worry about being stranded there or missing things out. If for some reason you got to take an extra rest, you've got people there that will be there with you and answer questions, and if you need help getting back down, they're there to do it. So again, wonderful experience, but you'll break a sweat for sure, and you need to be in moderate shape to do it.
Most definitely. Yep.
All
And
right.
then go
Oh,
ahead, Raj. I'll let you take us to the next event.
so at again, if you are interested in Skinwalker Ranch, so one of the things that's really I've found enjoyable about these seasons of Skinwalker Ranch is their ability to bring together and build these rockets, right? And add all sorts of equipment and launch these rockets to experiment and see what stimulus that they can get from the environment there. How is the ranch going to react? And so for the first time this year, they're doing a rocket launch with the Skinwalker Ranch cast at Buckskin Hills. So this is something that Jimm and I have not done before, but it looks to be really interesting. I'm not for sure who from the cast will be there. Um, Let me just check and see if it says anything. Yeah, it just says rocket launch with Skinwalker Ranch, cast at Buckskin Hills, no shuttle, own transportation required. Um, I would guess that they're likely would have Dr. Travis Taylor out there,
Yep.
plus a few others just to talk about it. So again, I think this would be a very, very fun experience, especially if you're into science and you love Skinwalker Ranch and you love those rockets. It'll be a lot of fun.
I'm actually not so sure that Travis Taylor would be there. You would think so. The only reason I say that is that coming up at 6:30, which is a little bit after
You're
that,
right.
is there's actually a VIP dinner that as an add-on activity for Dr. Travis Taylor from 6:30 to 7:30, and Eric Bard has one as well. They're two separate things, and both of those events, the VIP dinner with Travis Taylor and Eric Bard. Both of those are sold out. So unfortunately, if you don't have a ticket to that already, you can't go to that. But just based off of that, I'm not certain. I mean, it certainly wouldn't be impossible for Travis and Eric to still be there for the dinner at 6:30. But I would hope that it would be Travis Taylor and maybe Caleb, who knows, that are there for the rocket launch. That's something I would love to do, and I'm not sure. Is there might still be you might still be able to get tickets to the rocket launch. They're doing one on another day as well. I think they're doing one on Saturday as well for the rocket launch. So if you can't make the one on Wednesday, they might still have some space open for the rocket launch on Saturday.
Yeah, the Wednesday one is still open, but like you stated, the VIP dinners with Dr. Travis Taylor and with Eric Bard, those are sold out. So again, those VIP things. So if you're planning for 2024, something that you can think about ahead and be really proactive about jumping on and getting those add-ons as quickly as possible. And then in addition to that, there's also from 5:30 to 7 p.m. a VIP dinner with Russell Acord and Dr. Maria Mayer. That is also sold out. But again, if you have any interest, in Expedition Bigfoot, Russell Acord, super cordial guy, very, very fun to talk to, super animated. And of course, if you haven't seen last year's talk by Dr. Maria Mayer, amazing. She is an incredible scientist and primatologist. And I can't even put into words and justify just what a great speaker she is and just all around good human. So
I
she does so
completely,
much. And it's really fun to see that she has, not only does she embrace science and is super good in her field and what she does, but she's also open-minded enough to say there could possibly be a Bigfoot, right? Just because we
right.
haven't found evidence doesn't mean that it can't be. So again, if you're fans of the show or even just want to, see somebody who's just a class act, Dr. Maria Mayer, Russell Acord. If you can't get to the dinner because it's sold out, and you get there and they don't have any other openings, if you get a chance to say hello to them in their booths or anything like that, because they did have booths last year, and I would assume it's the same. Can't guarantee it, but they are very, very pleasant to talk to. So.
I completely agree. And how cool is it? Speaking of Expedition Bigfoot, it comes back next week on August 30th. We get season 4 finally of Expedition Bigfoot. And I don't know about you, Raj, but I am super excited to see this next season of Expedition Bigfoot.
I know, up in Alaska, that's just amazing.
Right? Yes,
Super,
yes,
super
yes. And
excited.
then after the those VIP dinners are done on Wednesday evening, starting at 8 o'clock, I believe, or is it 8 or 7? I think the opening reception starts.
The
Now
opening reception starts at 7.
at 7, good. So for those of you that don't know, the opening reception is included in whatever pass that you get for PhenomeCon. Well, I guess assuming you have that day pass. If you just get a pass for Friday or Saturday, good luck. But the opening reception is a lot of fun. It's nice because they provide free non-alcoholic drinks in the form of bottled water, soda, and juices. You can purchase beer and alcoholic drinks for a very nominal fee. And then they also offer all kinds of great snacks as well. They have a fruit tray, a veggie tray, and we're talking really high end, really nice, high quality stuff. There's like what I never pronounce the word right because I don't speak French. Is it a charcuterie or charcuterie? Basically meats and cheeses.
Yeah,
And
I'm right there with you. I don't speak French, so
yeah, so forgive my butchering of the culinary term, but basically a really nice meat, cheese, and cracker platter as well. Just all kinds of cool stuff at the opening reception. And of course, the whole purpose for it is for attendees to mingle and get to know one another. A lot of the celebrity speakers will be there as well at the opening reception. So if it's anything like years past, you will have members of the Skinwalker Ranch team, the Expedition Bigfoot team, Travis Walton, and we just announced he's coming. I'm really excited about that. I'm sure he's probably going to be there. That's where I met him for the first time, was at the opening reception of the very first PhenomeCon, excuse me, in 2021. So the opening reception is a lot of fun. Highly recommend it. My only thing that kind of makes me a little frustrated is that there's something else that's really important, that's really cool to take part in, that also happens on Wednesday night. And Roger, what is that?
that is the infamous, which means more than famous, by the way.
Yeah, not in a bad way.
Not in a bad the PhenomeCon Film Festival that they introduced last year. Now, you think, okay, PhenomeCon, with all the different topics and a film festival. Let me tell you, Jim and I, last year, we thought we're going to check this out. We're going to see what's going on. We were blown away by
We really were.
the films there and the quality of the films and just the work that these directors and producers put into making these films, right? And so you get to watch some really, really cool films that were made specifically. Like last year, there was stuff about Bigfoot, the different types of cryptids, and there were some other things I can't remember quite off the top of my head, but one of the most memorable things was Russell Acord, Expedition Bigfoot, is help producing a film, and last year he showed that around Bob Gimlin and his original footage of Patty, the Bigfoot that he filmed, right? That has been thoroughly examined, and one of the most famous Bigfoot sightings ever. Really kicked off the whole, Bigfoot craze that we have today. And it was just amazing that you get to speak to and ask questions to the people that put the films together. You can follow up with them. You're able to purchase their films, at least some of them, and get autographs if that's something that you're into. But it really is. It's just enjoyable stuff that it's very from like-minded people, right? We are interested in the paranormal, and these films are really well put together and have to do it. So if you can and really want to join the film festival, it was great. Last year, the weather was beautiful. It was in an outdoor amphitheater, and it was a very nice setting. And yeah, I can't say enough good things. You're going to be hearing me say that a lot tonight, Jim. That
Well,
I really love this because it's true.
It totally is true. Yeah, and I echo your sentiment, Raj, because one of the absolute best documentaries that I've ever seen about Bigfoot we saw last year at PhenomeCon. It was called A Flash of Beauty, Bigfoot,
Yes.
something or other. And the same director, the same team that put that documentary together, are putting their new documentary about Bigfoot. It's going to be one of the featured films this year at PhenomeCon. And there's also going to be a film about Bradshaw Ranch and the portals. So those of you that watched Beyond Skinwalker Ranch, that new series on the History Channel, then you probably know a little bit about the enigma known as Bradshaw Ranch. And there's going to be a film documentary entirely about Bradshaw Ranch and how there are allegedly portals to other dimensions, other places. There's going to be also a film about one topic that unfortunately I have my own personal experience with, and that is shadow people. There is a gentleman who's going to be one of the featured speakers, and we're going to talk about him here in just a bit when we get to whichever day it is that he's presenting, but a gentleman by the name of Mike Ricksecker, who is a very well-known, very well-respected author, and is considered a leading authority on the subject of shadow people or shadow beings. And so he's going to be showing, I think they're playing 2 episodes of his TV series that I'm not sure which network it's on, but he will be there to answer questions after you watch a couple of his episodes at the PhenomeCon Film Festival. But as Roger said, last year we went in with absolutely lower than low expectations. It was like basically, well, we got time to kill. There's nothing else going on. Let's go see what this film festival is all about. And Roger and I were simply blown away by the caliber and the quality of the films that were put on display at PhenomeCon. And the only thing that just kind of frustrates me is I just kind of wish that they had done the film festival like they did last year. Last year it was the day before the festivities really kicked off for PhenomeCon, and it was great because then you weren't rushed. You could sit and you could watch all the films that were being presented. This year, the way it looks like, they're going to be presenting all 4 films in the space of 2 hours. I don't know how they're going to pull that off, but it also, the opening reception, I love that so much. I kind of don't like being taken away from the opening reception because it's a great way to just, get to meet people and socialize. And that's really what a lot of this is about is that. But Wednesday night, perfect way to cap off your Wednesday evening is with the opening reception. Or if you're not really into crowds and mingling, then I definitely cannot recommend highly enough the PhenomeCon Film Festival.
100% echo the same sentiment. So as you can see, it's a jam-packed day. There's lots of stuff to do. And again, I will just say that that opening reception is great. The film festival will be great. And then to kick off or to finalize the day, at 9 p.m., this is also an add-on activity, but they do have the ghost hunt that is in downtown Vernal. Again, if you are into paranormal ghosts and things like that, would definitely recommend that experience. I know Jeff Freeman last year, he went and was able to record some stuff, and he really enjoyed it. He and I talked about it a little bit, and I think that with the ghost hunt, it's with the Cypress Paranormal, and I just want to see what yeah, downtown ghost hunt from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. It's $35. And I think they're doing it a couple nights. So take a look at that. And if that's something that's interesting to you, again, ghost hunting is fun. I've done it in the past. I haven't done the ones out here because I like the film festival and things like that, and have done ghost hunts in myself with other people, with some pretty crazy places here in Utah. So, but if it's something that you are interested in, highly would recommend that. And Jim, that wraps up our first day, and that's just the start of the fun.
Yeah. So let's kick into Thursday, September 7th, the second day. The second day kicks off at 8 o'clock. If with an add-on activity that's really cool. It's something that Roger and I actually did last year. Was a VIP breakfast with Thomas Winterton, the superintendent of sorts, if you will, of Skinwalker Ranch. Thomas is one of the coolest guys, and like all the cast members or team members of Skinwalker Ranch, the secret of Skinwalker Ranch, he is so down to earth and humble. He's not at all pretentious. He's just a real easygoing guy, and so there's a VIP breakfast if you've got the means to do that. I highly recommend that. And then the official start for Thursday gets going at 10 a.m. And then they kick in at 10:15. The main stage speaker, it's a gentleman by the name of David Schrader. And Roger, if I'm not mistaken, David Schrader is he's on a number of the Discovery Channel's paranormal TV shows. Is that correct? Like
I believe that's
the
correct.
Holzer
And he's
Files, I
also
think.
written, yeah, and he's also written multiple books as
Yeah.
well. So
So he'll be the first speaker at the in the ballroom on Thursday, and then about 11:45 to 1 p.m. they take a lunch break, and if you're there, perfect opportunity to go and have some tacos with me and Roger.
yes,
Actually, so yeah, gonna be just a great time there, and there's also at that time there's a breakout of add-on activities of various lunches for add-on activities. There's a lunch with Russ Acord and Zach Hall, his intrepid cameraman. Those of you that are fans of Expedition Bigfoot know who Zach Hall is. And then there's also a lunch called Science Meets Paranormal with Dr. Maria Mayor and Ronnie LeBlanc of Expedition Bigfoot. And then there's also a VIP lunch with Dwayne from Blind Frog Ranch. And then the VIP lunch with Dragon and Caleb of Skinwalker Ranch. And Roger, I think that's actually the one that we're signed up for, isn't it? If I'm not
that is,
mistaken.
yes.
So,
Yep.
so we're going to be looking forward to having lunch with Dragon and Caleb, and then coming back at 1 o'clock on Thursday the 7th. The main stage speaker will be one of the biggest draws of the conference, of course. Mr. or I shouldn't say Mr. He is indeed a doctor, Dr. Travis Taylor, and of course he needs no introduction. He's one of the scientists on The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. He's also been on Beyond Skinwalker Ranch and, of course, Ancient Aliens, and the former chief science officer of the Pentagon's UAP task force. So you don't get any more in the know or credible or just pure awesome as Dr. Travis Taylor. Just what a great guy. And when he gives his presentations, you are just completely enthralled by every word he says. And I love his excitement. And of course, his accent just, kicks it over the top for me. What are your thoughts on Dr. Taylor's presentations?
Oh yeah, they're always 100% spot on. He's engaging, he's fun. Not only is he incredibly intelligent, but he explains things really, really well for, us people that don't have PhDs, right? And
Yeah,
multiple master's
he
degrees.
he he dumbs it down for us Raider fans.
Yeah. He's great. So Dr. Travis Taylor is amazing. And yeah, if there's one thing you want to not miss would be the main stage speaker Thursday, September 7th, 1 o'clock for an hour and a half, Dr. Travis Taylor. He is great. He will, and I say this in a good way, he will entertain you, but it's all through science, and he just has some incredible stories from all the work that he's done over his life. And you can tell that this is what's great about Dr. Taylor as well. He enjoys what he does, right? He loves
100%.
science fiction. He's written science fiction's books. So if you have some of his books, bring them. He will autograph those for you. Um, Again, I just can't say, that there's just so much. I mean, let me tell you, last year when I met Dr. Taylor again, um, so this was the like second or third time, but I asked him if he would do a video recording as well as you, just to say hi to your father, and also to my son. And he was so kind and gracious. He did it. We
Right?
got out our phones to record. It's like if you could just do a short message to say hello, like that's how amazing this guy is. He's not
Yeah.
pretentious. There's no ego involved, and that's what I really love about Dr. Travis Taylor. And again, just wonderful. And his Southern accent just makes it the best.
Do you have any idea what we're doing here? Right?
I'm
Here,
all
that's
swimmy headed.
that's a
Yeah.
horrible Dr. Taylor impression. I apologize, folks, but no. Like Roger said, one of the things that always sticks in my mind whenever people ask me what I think about Dr. Taylor. Last year, my father, who sadly passed away just a couple of months after PhenomeCon, my dad had recently had heart surgery, and he was actually hoping to attend PhenomeCon that year with me, but because he had heart surgery, he was unable to attend. And my dad, like myself, was one of the biggest fans of the Secret of Skinwalker Ranch docu-series. And Travis Taylor was undeniably my father's favorite team member of the Skinwalker Ranch team. And so I asked Dr. Taylor if he wouldn't mind recording just a quick 30-second greeting for my dad. And Travis, he didn't roll his eyes. He didn't be like, "Oh, okay." He was like, "Sure, absolutely." And sure enough, he gave my dad a really sincere, very heartfelt greeting. And I got to tell you, when my dad played that, my sister told me that my dad was just grinning from ear to ear, and his face lit up. And that's what it's all about, folks. These guys are not. Uh, they don't act like celebrities, even though they are, and they're now world famous celebrities. Some of them, they don't have attitudes. They are just regular people that have a really, really cool job. And as long as you, just like with anybody else in life, if you approach them with respect and give them dignity and are polite to them, they will reciprocate, and they'll be happy to answer questions for you, take pictures with you. And that's really, one of the great things about PhenomeCon is it makes these extraordinary people accessible to people, everyday schmucks like you and me, Raj. Not to call you a schmuck or anything, but let's face it, I am. But anyhow, no, it's great. The main stage speaker for Thursday afternoon, Dr. Travis Taylor. That is a must attend for sure. And so then after that, there's a break at 2:30. Go out and get yourself a drink or whatever, And then starting at 3 o'clock on Thursday, from 3 to 4:45 p.m., there is another series of truly, I hate to use the word, but phenomenal breakout sessions. And
This is so hard because they have 4 breakout sessions. You can
right,
only attend one, and these people are incredible. And you can't, if I could only clone myself and go to each and then, just absorb that information. But I will let you present who these people are.
and you're so right, Raj, because one of the very first one that's on the list is one of my favorite speakers from last year, and that is paranormal detective Greg Lawson. And Greg is just an absolute, I mean, he's hilarious, but he's also very serious about what he does. He's one of those presenters that really just just is a great public speaker. He knows how to really engage the audience. He knows when to, not take himself too seriously, and then when to completely, let the comedy, roll out. But Greg is also a phenomenal art author, and he wrote a book last year. Well, I guess it wasn't last year that he wrote it, but last year I bought one of his books called Roswell, uh, the final report, or
Yeah, the final report.
or something like that, and truly one of the best books that I've read about Roswell. And so, Greg, I cannot recommend him highly enough. We're hoping sometime after PhenomeCon that Roger and I can get Greg Lawson booked on the Soul of the Unexplained as a guest. So he's definitely somebody we're really looking forward to seeing. The next one is Trey Hudson. Raj, I'm not overly familiar with who Trey Hudson is. Do you know offhand? And I feel horrible about that.
So he's similar to like Dave Schrader. He's an author, he's an investigator, different types of paranormal things. And so um again, I'm not for sure exactly what his field of investigation is. But it definitely has to do with anything that would fall under paranormal. So um I am looking at his picture, and based on his picture now, I shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but it is outdoors, like look the woods. So I'm would probably say he's an investigator of cryptids, things like that. Just my guess, not 100% for sure though.
Cool. Well, that's one of our homework assignments then, Raj, is find out who Trey Hudson is, and I
Yes.
look forward to that. But also the another speaker during this breakout session is Thomas Winterton, again, superintendent of Skinwalker Ranch, and guaranteed that's going to be a really good presentation. And then another one that I would absolutely love to clone myself for, because I just have the utmost respect and admiration for this guy, Pete Kelsey, who is I guess they would call him a technologist, but
Yeah.
Pete is just an all around awesome guy. He's been featured on The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, Expedition Bigfoot, and a whole host of other shows, because Pete, one of his specialties is LIDAR. So all of that great imaging that we've had done for both Expedition Bigfoot and Secret of Skinwalker Ranch and all these other great shows. Pete Kelsey, that's what he does. He runs a company that does imaging, the lidar photography, the slam lidar, and just all around great stuff. And like myself, Pete is also really big into music. So looking forward to seeing Pete and talking with him. But I guarantee you that breakout session with Pete Kelsey is going to be really mind blowing. And Raj, I don't know how we're going to decide which one to attend. Really,
Yeah, we're gonna have
it's not
to.
fair.
It isn't fair, and I don't know. We may have to do something like instead of both seeing one person, split up and then compare notes
Yeah,
and, and things like that. But yeah, they um definitely those 4 speakers, and we'll learn a little bit more about Trey Hudson. But I think that you can't go wrong with who you choose in this breakout session. So
right. I agree. And then coming up at 5 o'clock, once those afternoon breakout sessions are done, in the main ballroom, the main stage speaker is going to be another superstar, Dr. Mireya Mayor of Expedition Bigfoot, who is one of the world's most renowned primatologists, among other things. And like Roger said, she is just a remarkable human being, one amazing individual. And I was so happy that we got to meet her and spend a little bit of time with her last year at PhenomeCon. And I love the insight that she brings to the and the dynamic that she brings to the Expedition Bigfoot team. And it's great because you've got Russ Acord, who's like this, real life Rambo, outdoorsman
Yeah.
survivalist. And then you have Ronnie LeBlanc, who's a lot like you and I. He's just so passionate about paranormal, and he is absolutely one of the probably one of the world's most foremost experts on Sasquatch uh, folklore and mythology, and he just has this excitement about him. And then you have Dr. Mayor, who kind of adds a whole other level of credibility, and the way that they all play off each other is so much fun to watch on the TV show. The way that they bust each other's chops from time to time, especially Maria and Ronnie. I love seeing the two of them together. And I don't think it's any mistake that the two of them are always paired up, because they balance each other out really, really well as far as their approach goes. But Maria, the presentation that she gave last year at PhenomeCon was really a world-class uh, presentation. And I cannot wait to see what she brings to us this year.
Yeah, I think it'll be amazing and looking forward to it.
Yep. And so then, once Maria is finished, there is a whole host. In fact, the remainder of the evening from 7 o'clock until 10 p.m. is just filled with add-on activities. There's a dinner with James Keenan, and with one of the members of Blind Frog Ranch. There's a dinner with April Slaughter, who we're going to talk about in a moment. There is a VIP dinner with Greg Lawson. I don't know if I'd be able to keep my food down, because I'd be laughing too much with Greg Lawson.
Well, just a quick thing. If you remember last year at the Voice of the Believers add-on activity, we sat right next to him and his wife.
Yep.
And let me tell you, that guy is so much fun, and the jokes, and it's true. We were we were spending a lot of time laughing, and he's just an all-around just a fun guy. So yeah.
He really is. And then at 7 o'clock, from 7 to 9, there is a DNA and casting workshop with Dr. Maria Mayor and Russell Acord. And so if you ever wanted to learn how to gather DNA in the field, if you're a budding Sasquatch researcher and want to learn how to do more effective scientific research and how to take proper casting of footprints, then attend that workshop with Maria and Russ. I guarantee you that's going to be fun. And then one of our favorite things every year, Raj, is the behind the scenes dinner with the cast of Skinwalker Ranch. Every year we've done that. The food has been out of this world, dynamite quality food. And the great thing with that is that you get to watch. The team picks one episode from the most recent season, so they're going to show clips from a particular episode this past season 4 of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, and they will tell you the details that didn't make it onto or that fell victim to the cutting room floor, basically. And they'll give you all kinds of really great inside scoop as to what went on when that didn't make it onto the actual episode. So it's great to get that extra insight and get an amazing dinner on top of that. And then also from 7:30 to 10, there is the UFO Valley Campground has a bonfire and sky watching. And then there's also stargazing at Steinecker State Park, if you're into that kind of thing. And then there's yet again another ghost hunting opportunity in downtown Vernal. And that wraps up Thursday, September 7th. So Raj, take us into Friday, September 8th, excuse me.
Friday, September 8th. And so if you're here for the full time and you've had 2 full days, make sure you get some good rest, because you'll want to be up early again on Friday, September 8th from 7:30 to 8:30. It's the sunrise meditation with Melissa Winterton. And again, really, really looking forward to that. I think it's going to be an incredible experience. And yeah, if you guys can join us, we would love to have you all there. And then at 8:30 to 10 o'clock, There's a couple add-on activities that you can do. One, it's behind the scenes breakfast with the cast of Expedition Bigfoot. I can imagine that very similar to Skinwalker Ranch, just talking about their episodes and their past adventures, being able to ask questions and things like that. So definitely something to look into. And then there's also an additional one that is the hardware behind the OMG by Pete Kelsey and Eric Bard. So really, both of those guys love technology, are really good at what they do and reviewing footage, LiDAR, camera, you name it, right? So this is a really good breakfast. Well, I don't know if it's a breakfast, but you probably have to clarify that because it doesn't say breakfast. So I will just say TBD, check it out. But Pete Kelsey, Eric Bard.
Folks, I guarantee you, if you bring Eric and Pete breakfast, they'd probably appreciate it.
I would think so. I would think so. So some fun things to get the morning started off with. Then bright and early 10 a.m. is the welcome. And then at 10:15, we have our main stage speaker, Aaron Sagers. So again, from 10:15 to 11:45, we've got Aaron Sagers. And again, I am not as familiar with Aaron. Do you know, Jim, what his background is?
Yeah, I just know that he's a paranormal, he's a host and an author. Let me see, I can pull up real quickly here what it says about Aaron Sagers. Let me just scroll down here. If they've got him on the site, that is. They don't always have everybody updated on the site. But let's see here. Yep.
TV host and
Yep.
author.
Yeah, he's a TV host, producer, journalist, and author who can currently be seen as host of 28 Days Haunted, the Netflix first paranormal investigative series, as well as on Paranormal Caught on Camera. Oh, that's cool. And I've actually watched that a couple times. I'm kind of ashamed of myself for not knowing who he is then. But yeah, he's affiliated with some pretty cool docu-series, it looks like. So he might have a pretty interesting presentation.
Yeah, looking forward to that, definitely. And now that you speak of it, I've seen many episodes of Paranormal Caught on Camera, and I do remember him because he contributes to that along with a lot of different other authors and researchers. So that sparked my memory. Looking forward to that, definitely.
Yep.
Then after he finishes up from 11:45 to 1 p.m., we have our lunch break. So again, you're welcome to join Jim and I for tacos and delicious food. There's also an add-on activity. If you wanted to meet Ryan Skinner, there's a VIP lunch with him. And then getting back to the main stage panel at 1 p.m., super excited. The Expedition Bigfoot cast will be there speaking to everybody. Last year, it was great just to see all of the cast there talking about their adventures and what they're looking forward to and dropping some hints of, the next season.
Right.
So really exciting. So definitely something you don't want to miss if you love Expedition Bigfoot. Of course, jumping from there, we have a 2:30 break. And then again, these breakout speakers from 3 to 3:45.
Crazy good. Oh my gosh.
Crazy good. Yeah.
There's not a single meh about on any of these next series of breakout speakers. I am, again, Raj, we got to figure out a way to clone ourselves.
Yeah. So first one, James Keenan, which treasure trove of knowledge, anthropology, history. Very good. Then you've got Expedition Bigfoot, Ronnie LeBlanc, and I would love to attend that too. Just he's such a fun individual, has a lot of excitement and passion for all things Sasquatch. And then, of course, the other breakout speaker, the third one, Eric Bard. I mean, again, treasure trove. And then I'll let you introduce the last one.
The other speaker in this particular breakout session is one that I'm really excited about, and as badly as I want to attend the breakout sessions by James Keenan and Ronnie LeBlanc and Eric Bard. I think this guy is the breakout session that I'm going to attend just because of my own personal experience recently with shadow being. And that, of course, is Michael Ricksucker, who is, again, considered the one of the world's most foremost authorities on the topic of shadow beings, shadow people. And so I'm myself, Raj, I'm leaning toward attending his breakout session.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that I would like to as well. Having had a chance to talk to James in the past myself, and listening to Ronnie, and also talking with Eric Bard in the past, I really think the Michael Ricksecker speech and breakout session, he will be absolutely fascinating, and I would love to learn more about his experiences, and hopefully we can get some questions answered based on the experience that you had. So
True that. True that.
all right, and then if that wasn't amazing enough, from 5 to 6:30, main stage speaker, Russell Acord and Zach Hall. So, number one, last year when Russ Acord was the main stage speaker, it was just phenomenal. So much energy. He actually brought his backpack that he carries in Expedition Bigfoot, and he had people actually put that puppy on and walk around, and Kevin kept walking around, and it was pretty amazing that, because I mean, that I can't remember how much he said it actually weighed, but it was very, very heavy and difficult, and he makes it look so easy just hiking up mountains with that thing on.
Right?
So not
Doesn't it
only,
doesn't it weigh like 97 pounds or something like that?
yeah, it's
It's
really,
crazy.
really heavy. And
Yeah.
yeah, when you get up close to Russ Acord, like, I mean, this guy, he is in incredible shape. Like, he takes really good care of himself. And just it's just fun. And as you know, if you watched Expedition Bigfoot, um, Zach Hall is the cameraman behind Russ Acord. And if you haven't seen any of the seasons, I won't spoil anything for you, but let's just say there's some really good episodes that have talk and banter, some concerning situations where I'll say Zach got lost and Russ was concerned. And again, not only is Russ Acord super amazing and being able to lift that backpack, but Zach Hall, who is the cameraman, he follows Russ around no problem, keeping up, doing these things. Like, I can't imagine if I would not be able to do that myself. So
Right.
excited just to see, like, because you can tell from the show both of those individuals have a great working relationship. They know each other. I would dare say that they are really, really good friends by now. And I think the main stage speaker between those two, it'll be a really good event not to miss.
Most definitely. And think of it this way, folks. How many other of these docu-series is a camera guy one of the featured speakers? I mean, that just tells you how unique and how special of a guy this Zach Hall is. I mean, he just the fact that he can keep up pace with Russ in the woods and in the mountains. I mean,
Following a
uh,
camera around, yeah.
the way I look at it, Zach is every bit as much of a superhero as Russ. I mean,
Yeah,
truly,
100%.
truly.
Just
So
behind the scenes, and yeah, definitely. Props to Zach. So
yeah,
that'll be super exciting. And then
yep.
to round out the day, and it's something that again, we've got multiple things for you to do with these extra add-on activities. So at 6:45, there's the second, and I think the last escorted trip to Skinwalker Ranch Perimeter. Again, that is sold out, but if you are interested, definitely talk to um, the people at the conference, Bridget and her team there in the guest services, and they will be able to update you if there are any openings or whatnot. Um, and then at 7, and that starts at 6:45. Then at 7 p.m., what's called, and by far, Jim, this is one of the main highlights of what I look forward to every year, and it's called the Voice of the Believers Open Mic and Dinner. So number one, they have a catering company that comes in, and it's the most amazing food. It's Dutch oven, and it's delicious. You've got different types of barbecue, corn. I mean, you name it. Like, this is really delicious food.
It's Dutch oven, like a chuck wagon, old style Western barbecue type of setup.
Yeah,
And like Roger says, folks, the food alone is worth the price of admission for this add-on activity. And as far as I know, there are still spots available to
there
sign up for the
is.
Voice of the Believers. And I mean, multiple kinds of barbecue, like Roger said, but there's also the barbecue beans they have, and everything is homemade. I mean, it's all made right there um, in these great Dutch oven things that just and the desserts. Oh my gosh, Raj!
They have
Last
cobblers made out of the Dutch oven with ice cream if you want. And
like four different kinds of fresh homemade cobbler. There's like apple cobbler, blueberry, strawberry, raspberry. I mean, it was just and peach cobbler. Oh, and
yeah,
seriously, folks, that was some homemade vanilla ice cream for dessert. Good night. I mean, honestly, that alone is worth the price of admission. But then it's what comes after the dinner that is every bit as special and unique about this particular activity that makes it my absolute favorite activity at PhenomeCon, bar none. Tell us about it, Raj.
so after the dinner, once the sun's going down, they get a fire pit going, and they've got chairs and everything. And what they have is called an open mic. And there's a very good reason why they call it Voice of the Believers. So this is a setting where you have like-minded people that have had experiences, and the open mic is to stand up and take a couple minutes and share an experience, a paranormal experience that you've had. And you'd be amazed at how many people at the start of the conference, maybe just, for fear of being judged, or, like, did I really have an experience? This helps people just open up because they realize, like, I am not the only one that has seen some pretty crazy stuff out there. And I tell you, again, you get to know people, and you expose yourself a little bit. You become vulnerable, and you are talking to people about something that may in the past be difficult to talk about. But I know for the last 2 years, I've taken the opportunity, I would say, to share some of my crazy paranormal experiences with people, and for me, it's just letting them know that, what, if you've had similar types of experience, you're not alone. And it's also great for me because when people are sharing their experience, I'm like, yeah, exactly. I have heard that before, or I've seen that before. And I'm like, man, I don't feel so alone. Like, I'm not crazy. I have actually did this. And it's just wonderful stories. And I know last year, Jim, you had the courage to get up there and share an experience, which was amazing. And again, like, there's just so many just kind people there that are listening and super supportive. And I know last year, like, as it winded down, we had several people come up and start talking to us about the experiences they had that were similar to yours and ours. And I mean, last year we were like literally one of the last people to leave because of a gentleman that just kept talking to us and wanted to understand more and share
Yep,
experiences. And
yep.
I was blown away that people would take the time to talk to us about not only things that they have had, but to ask us more questions. So again, I mean, definitely interested in your thoughts as well, because like you said, hands down, it's just the highlight of the conference for me.
No, it really is for me, and for all the reasons that you mentioned. Because let's face it, we've talked about it how many times on our podcast, and it's the very reason why the Soul of the Unexplained exists, and that is to help tear down the stigma around all these, paranormal topics. And again, paranormal is just called paranormal because it's just simply science that we don't understand.
Right.
And but the great thing about this Voice of the Believers dinner and the open mic is that you get these people that share their experiences. And last year, we've heard people telling encounters of Bigfoot encounters, um, other cryptid encounters, hauntings and ghosts, lots of UFO and UAP encounters. And then last year, we even had our very first person during the open mic that talked about being an abductee of alien abduction. And so you really get the whole gamut. And the cool thing is that it's all, there is no judging going on, because everybody that is there, chances are they have had their own experience and they have their own, fear of being ridiculed, of being made fun of being told that you're one of these tinfoil hat nut jobs. And what I found out, Raj, I've said it numerous times, when I listen to the firsthand stories and testimonies of other experiencers, and let's remember the importance of that word, okay? There are three kinds of people when you're talking about the paranormal. There are believers, okay? Those are people that have the faith. They say, well, yeah, I believe that UFOs are a thing and that there's life. I believe there's life on other planets. And I believe that maybe there could be something like a Sasquatch or a Bigfoot. They have faith. They just have a belief, okay? Then you have witnesses and experiencers. Now, an experiencer is somebody who undeniably, they have knowledge. Okay, there's a difference between having a belief and having stone cold knowledge. And an experiencer is somebody that has actually seen with their own eyes. They have seen a UFO. They have seen Bigfoot or Sasquatch up close. They have seen a shadow being. And when you encounter stuff like that, it really tends to mess with your mind, because when your eyes are looking at something, your brain is telling you, this is not possible. This cannot exist. This is not real. It can't be real. But yet, particularly in instances where there are multiple people experiencing it at the same time, of which there are many instances of that being the case, then it just completely shatters your view and perception of reality. And that can be a pretty heavy weight to carry, because who do you talk to about stuff like this? You're probably not going to be likely to go talk to, a licensed therapist for fear that they're going to, put you in the nut house or something like that, because there's such a stigma attached to it. So this is an opportunity where people that are experiencers and believers can come together in a completely open setting and share their experiences, share their beliefs. And what happens, the most amazing thing as the people do that, is they gain courage and strength from each other. Because when I listen to the experiences of other people, even if I myself haven't witnessed or experienced the same kind of thing that they're talking about, it still gives me strength and courage to share my own experience. And I got to tell you, Raj, chances are pretty good that I might end up sharing my shadow person experience at this year's Voice of the Believers, because I'll finally have an experience of my own to share. And I'm really excited about that, because for all the reasons you said, Raj, it's a great way to find out that, hey, I'm not the only one out there that's had really weird shit happen to me. And there is nothing more calming and more affirming to know that you're not alone and experiencing some of these truly odd and out there things that we classify as paranormal. And so, for the fact that you get truly a out of this world dinner, and then an opportunity to sit and listen or share your own paranormal experiences with these great attendees, um, I cannot endorse it strongly enough. I cannot say enough good things about it. If there's only one add-on event you're going to get throughout all of PhenomeCon, make it the Voice of the Believers dinner and open mic. This is the event that is truly the can't miss event of PhenomeCon.
Yeah, 100% agreed. And yeah, really looking forward to that this year again. Um, a couple of other add-on activities from 7 to 8:30. If for some reason you choose not to do the open mic and dinner, Voice of the Believers, there's a behind the scenes dinner with the cast of Blind Frog Ranch. There's a VIP dinner with Dr. Travis Taylor and a VIP dinner with Eric Bard. So again, my recommendation, and I'm sure is yours, Voice of the Believers is the one to attend. I think you get the most for your money that way and also have the best experience. Again, those are our opinions and we stand behind them 100%. So
100%, absolutely. So there's also to round out the evening, if you're looking for something a little less crowded, there's also another stargazing opportunity at Dinosaur National Monument,
yep.
which is just outside of Vernal, on the Colorado-Utah border. And there's yet another ghost hunt in downtown Vernal. And then so going into Saturday, the final day of the conference, from 8 to 9:30, there's a series of add-on activity VIP breakfasts, one with Russ Acord of Expedition Bigfoot, one with with Eric Bard, the chief scientific investigator of Skinwalker Ranch, and Dr. Travis Taylor. And then at 10 o'clock in the morning is the welcome for Saturday. And then right after that, there is a main stage speaker who we're still not sure exactly who that's going to be. I'm kind of keeping my fingers crossed that it's going to be Travis Walton, but we'll see, right?
Could be George Knapp as well. Oh wait, no,
but no,
George Knapp is in the afternoon.
Right. And so the main stage speaker will be from 10:15 to about 11:30 or thereabouts. And then there's going to be a lunch break and then a VIP lunch with David Schrader. And then coming back at 1 o'clock, another one of the keynote events would be the main stage panel discussion with the cast of Skinwalker Ranch at 1 o'clock. And that's always a lot of fun to attend. And that will be in the main ballroom. And then there's going to be a little break at 2:30. And then from 2:45 to 4:45, there will be an opportunity to go and launch rockets off-site with the Skinwalker Ranch team. That's an add-on activity. And then from 3 o'clock to 4:45, there's another series of breakout speakers with David Schrader and Trey Hudson, Joanne Smith, who I believe is a paranormal investigator or psychic. And then there's a breakout speaker that is yet to be determined. And then the big concluding speaker, the big keynote speaker to wrap up the conference in the main ballroom from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. will be George Knapp, the host of Coast to Coast AM periodically, the author of The Hunt for Skinwalker Ranch and co-author of Skinwalkers at the Pentagon, and the man who broke the UFO story about Bob Lazar back in 1989, and the man whose name is synonymous with the term UFO and UAP. George Knapp is truly an elder statesman, if there were such a thing, of the UFO and UAP topic. And Roger, he was an attendee the first year of PhenomeCon, and his presentation was truly extraordinary. And I really enjoyed what he had to say to the crowd. And I'm sure he's going to have an awful lot of cool things to share with us. He's clearly one of the people that I'm most exciting about having the prospect of maybe at least shaking his hand. I couldn't work up the courage last time to go shake his hand, but this time I'm definitely going to do it. And hopefully we can interview him. How cool would that be?
That would be amazing. And for those of you that don't know George's history as well, so as Jim stated, he was the first one to break the Bob Lazar story. And you have to understand that anything that has to do with UFOs, UAPs, especially back then, very much a taboo subject, right? George Knapp is an investigative journalist who's not only won awards, but he worked prime time in the newsroom in Las Vegas for a news organization down there. And I think it was Channel 4, could be Channel 2. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'd have to look at that. But he's the one that broke that and started breaking the stigma of being able to talk about that in mainstream news media. I mean, and that back then was a huge accomplishment, not only to him for doing the research, getting the facts, doing all the discussion, investigations, but then discussing it live on TV on a mainstream news network. That just didn't happen back then. And still today, it's a very taboo subject in mainstream media. You don't get a lot of people talking about it like George Knapp. And again, I'm really excited to listen to him. And I think you guys, if you come on Saturday or you have the full thing, like definitely stay and listen to what George has to say. He knows his stuff. He knows what he's doing, and he, in my opinion, 100% credible. Does his homework, base things on fact. So he's the real deal when it comes to investigative journalism.
There's no doubt, and he's also a Peabody Award-winning journalist. He is one of the nation's foremost and highly regarded investigative journalists, because he doesn't just simply cover the topic of UFOs. I mean, he's won awards on his coverage of organized crime in Las Vegas. The guy is truly an OG when it comes to investigative journalism, and he's also runs one of the most prominent podcasts out there right now with Jeremy Corbell, filmmaker Jeremy Corbell. He runs a podcast called Weaponized that new episodes air pretty much every early in the morning on Tuesday or late in the evening on Monday, depending on where you're at. But the guy just is a literal and veritable walking encyclopedia of UFO and UAP knowledge. He was involved with Bob Bigelow from the journalism side of things when Bob Bigelow owned Skinwalker Ranch, which put him in place to co-author the book Hunt for the Skinwalker with Dr. Colm Kelleher back in 2006 or thereabouts.
Yeah, yep.
And then again, co-authored Skinwalkers at the Pentagon, which is an absolute must read. Okay, that is one of the UFO UAP Bibles, Skinwalkers at the Pentagon, which was written by Dr. James Lukatsky, Dr. Colm Kelleher, and contributions from George Knapp as well. And I'll tell you, Raj, I'm taking my books to get signed. I hope, if nothing else, I can get George Knapp to sign my copies of those 2 books. But I'm super excited about George Knapp being there. And then, of course, one of the other things to look forward to, starting at I think it's 7 o'clock, is it? Or thereabouts? Yeah, 7 to 10. 7 to 10 is the closing reception of PhenomeCon, where they bring in a DJ. They've got music, there's dancing, there's a great light show, there's a costume party where they award prizes for the best costumes. And last year there were some pretty decent costumes, I have to say. And so again, just like the opening reception, the closing reception has all kinds of great drinks and snacks. And Greg Lawson was an absolute hoot to hang around with during that closing reception. So who knows if you'll ever see Roger and I busting a move out there. I don't want to cause any more seismic activity than already happens in Utah, so I'll probably keep my dancing at a minimum, and definitely no twerking from this guy. Not going to happen.
Whoa! Now, you said last week
I got too much junk in my trunk.
Hey, we're gonna be the twerking soul of the Unexplained kids out on the floor. So okay.
You know, people are going to hold us to this, Raj.
Yeah, I just realized that. So everybody.
And I can attest, folks, Roger actually is a very, very good dancer. There's a reason why I'm a musician and producer. I make the music so I don't have to dance to it.
Well, Jim, we're dancing in our minds. So
right on. So, folks, that basically wraps up the day-by-day breakdown of what's going to happen at PhenomeCon 2023. Again, we're so excited to be attending this year. We're just there's so much fun things that are going to be taking place during these 4, or for us 5 days that we're going to be there. And let's also not forget there's going to be some great booths that you can attend while you're there. You can go visit some of these speakers. Will have their own booth set up so you can go up and shake their hand and get them to sign stuff, get some pictures taken. The Skinwalker Ranch Insider booth is always guaranteed to be a hub of activity. And one of the people that will be set up there is our dear friend Jeff Freeman of the J Free 906 podcast. So you can be assured that Roger and I will be stopping by to say hello to Jeff, and we'll probably jump on camera a bit when he goes live on YouTube. So be looking for us on the J Free 906 podcast. And Roger, Jeff tells me that he's also going to try to join us for tacos and go live as we're having tacos together.
Nice. That would be amazing. People
So
can watch us eat tacos.
that's right, tacos and elote. Right, I love
Oh
elote.
my
I love
gosh, that's
love
so good.
elote. Mm,
So good.
so good. And jarritos. If they don't have jarritos, I'm going to be disappointed. But
I'm sure they will.
fingers crossed. So there you have it, folks. PhenomeCon is coming up. We're just about 11 or 12 days away from today being August 24th, the day that we're recording this. And I don't know about you, Raj, but well, I do know you're every bit as excited as I am. And for us, it's a fun road trip to get there. And then from the moment we arrive in Vernal, it's just a nonstop party. And I don't know how we're going to get any sleep during the time that we're there because we now have a lot of friends that are coming back that are going to meet us there. Um, it's going to be a whole new ball of wax this year, and I can't wait. And with all the stuff that I've dealt with in the last year with my father passing and some of my health issues that I've had, and certainly some of your health issues that I know that you've had, it's going to feel so good to be able to just kind of cast all that aside and just focus on this amazing conference that we are so blessed with the opportunity to attend. And I for one, cannot wait. I'm literally counting the days and cannot wait to get out there and take that trip out to Vernal with you, buddy.
Yep, I am so excited, and it will be an amazing trip. And on behalf of Jim and I, we are looking forward to seeing you out there. If you at all possible can make it, we definitely want to sync up. We want to hear your stories. We want to understand what makes paranormal fun for you. What experiences have you had? And yeah, at the end of the day, it's just a phenomenal, no pun intended, conference. It is PhenomeCon, and it's a great time, great people, great food, and it's just fun with like-minded people, and we hope to see you there.
I could not agree more, Raj. I am so excited to get out there with you, and thank you everybody for tuning in to the Soul of the Unexplained. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to find out whenever we post new content. I guarantee you, we're going to be posting a lot of content while we're at PhenomeCon. We may even try to go live on Facebook or Instagram a couple times while we're out there, and who knows, we may be joined when we do those live events by somebody like a Caleb Bench or a Dr. Travis Taylor or a Greg Lawson or who knows, maybe even Travis Walton or George Knapp. And I'm certainly looking forward to it. So thank you, folks. Thanks you for tuning in. Roger, as always, a pleasure to be with you. So good to have you back. We missed you for a couple of episodes, but you're back on the saddle, so to speak, and it's good to have you there. And can't wait to get going with you.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. Looking forward to it. It's great to be back. And yeah, from the Soul of the Unexplained, Jim and I, we are out. See ya.
See ya.